Good morning. Thank you for being here today. Allergies and all. So let's start by taking a moment to generate compassion for all sentient beings. We can consider that all sentient beings have at one point or another been our kind mother or father or parent. They've cared for us and nurtured us, and we can be grateful for that and make the wish that our meditation practice today will benefit them. Make the wish to free them from suffering. And then we'll say the opening prayers. We'll say the 7-line prayer 3 times. Organ yugi num jansam pemage sardompola yatsen chogi ngorubne pemma jongne jesura Ordu kandro mangpogor Ketki Jesu Dagdruki Jinji Lop Cheer Sheksu Sol Guru Pama Siddhi Om Organ Yugi Num Jansam Pemage Sardompola Yatsen Chogi Ngorubne Pema Jongne Jesurak Kordu Kandro Mangpokor Ketki Jesu Dagdruki Jinji Lop Cheer Sheksu Sol Guru Pema Siddhi Om Organ Yugi Num Jansam Pemage Sardompola Yatsen Chogi Ngorubne Pema Jongne Jesura Kordu Kandro Mangpokor Ketki Jesu Dagdruki Jinji Lop Cheer Sheksu Sol Guru Pama Siddhi Om. So the meditation that we'll be doing today is called Shamatha meditation or calm abiding meditation. And if you've just spent the holiday with your family, you probably know why you need to practice meditation. Holidays are a good time to notice all of the stuff that gets stirred up in our mind and how crazy our emotions can be, how our untamed mind can cause conflict between ourselves and people we love. There's a lot of trouble that our untamed mind can get us into, and a lot of suffering that we can cause ourselves and others because our mind is just running around and being a crazy monkey all the time. So doing this meditation trains our mind to be calm and relaxed while also being alert and wakeful, and it stabilizes the mind. It helps us settle into the natural state of mind, which is relaxed, stable, and open. And stabilizing the mind is so important because anything that we are doing on the spiritual path, if we are trying to gain spiritual insight into the nature of reality, if we are trying to, be more generous, be more compassionate, be more patient, if we're trying to develop correct view, all of these things, we want to have them in a stable way. We don't want to just be generous once and then not be generous again, or be generous 3 times a year. We want to practice having a generosity of spirit that is consistent and stable and always very generous, always very patient, always very, always in touch with wisdom and compassion. And so when we think of the Buddhas and we pray to the Buddhas, we don't think, oh, I wonder if Guru Rinpoche is going to be in a good mood today and help me out. But that's how we are, you know. So we have to be in a good mood to help out each other. So when we meditate, we learn how to stabilize our mind so that these other habits that we're building up can also be stable. We can create stability with these positive habits that we're building. And of course, it helps us to balance our emotions, gives us some time between action and reaction, so we're not just bouncing off of our experiences like a little ping pong ball. And it's the first step in the development of bodhicitta. This little bit of space that we open in our minds with this meditation, that is the first step to developing the bodhicitta, the compassionate wish to free all sentient beings from suffering. We just need a little bit of space because we're all wrapped up in ourselves. So we need a little bit of space in that in order to think about others. And then we can build from there. But it's very difficult to think about others when we're so wrapped up in our habits and so fickle and unstable. So meditation is very helpful. All right, so let's take a comfortable seat. If you're watching online, you can do this meditation sitting in a chair or sitting cross-legged on the floor. However you're sitting, you want to make sure that you have a stable base. If you're sitting on a chair, you want to make sure your feet are touching the ground, you feel stable. And then we're going to place our hands in our lap, gently relaxed. Traditionally, we hold one hand in the other with the thumbs touching, and place our hands so our thumbs are just below the navel. You can also just rest your hands on your thighs. And then check in with your posture. Your spine is straight, like a stack of coins. Your shoulders are open, kind of back a little bit. We're standing up proud, like we are knights about to engage in battle. We are we're alert and at attention and proudly engaged in our practice with our posture. And our body is also relaxed at the same time. Our muscles are relaxed. Your elbows are out a bit, so your rib cage is open. There's a lot of room around your rib cage for you to breathe. And your eyes will remain open, looking downwards. So you can imagine a line following the bridge of your nose and extending down to the floor. And find a point along that line where it's comfortable to rest your gaze. And then place the tip of your tongue right behind your front teeth. It's like saying the letter L. And allow yourself to relax completely and breathe normally. Just settle into your natural rhythm of breathing. Don't try to control it at all. Just breathe naturally. And then put the most gossamer thin attention on your breath. It's like taking your pulse. You don't put any pressure on it. Just observe it. Your attention is like a feather, gently riding on the surface of your breath. And as you're meditating, thoughts will come up, and just let them go like bubbles popping on the surface of a pond. Just let them pop. Don't even look to see what they are. Your meditation is not lost by hearing your thoughts, but by following them down the road. So as soon as you notice yourself lost in your thoughts and following them along, just drop it, return to the breath. And if it's really difficult for you to dismiss your thoughts, you can imagine picking them up with tongs and dropping them, or cutting them with scissors and throwing them away. But we always just drop the thought and return to that gossamer thin attention on the breath. Return again and again to that gossamer thin attention on your breath.
So that's our first meditation. So we're meditating and all of our thoughts are coming up. We're just getting used to our thoughts doing what they're going to do, doing their little dance while we stick with the breath. We can just let our thoughts do their thing, and we don't have to control them, or we don't have to stop them. And we can just do our own thing and stick with the breath. And this is really good practice when we're out in the world. We can't really control others. We can't really control a lot in our lives. But we can learn to tame our own minds. We can choose what we focus on. We can choose where our energy is at. And that's something that we're practicing when we're meditating, is we just stay with the breath. No matter what nonsense is going on in our heads, we just stay with the breath. And we don't let it distract us. We just stay with the breath. I always love the parable about, if the world's full of sharp rocks and you don't go and cover the whole world with leather. You just put leather on your feet and you just wear shoes. So it's so much easier to just put on shoes to go out in the world than it is to cover the entire world with leather so that we don't hurt our feet. So in the same way with taming our minds, we really can't control the world, and we can't control how other people are going to talk to us or act with us, or if they're going to do what we want or not, or anything, what the weather's like. We can't control so many things in our lives, but when we tame our minds, when we practice meditation, it's like putting leather on our own feet, and so then we are resilient, and the insulation that we have from that is our own mind training, not needing to control everything, but being able to just control ourselves. So let's do our long meditation session. We'll meditate for about 15 minutes. All right. So we'll be in our meditation posture. With our straight back and relaxed body. Eyes are open, looking downwards. The tongue is just behind the front teeth. You allow yourself to relax completely and breathe normally. With very light attention on your breathing. Your attention is like a feather, gently riding on the surface of your breath.
So our distractions while we're meditating can look like many things. It can be our uncomfortable body. It can be you feel like you need to cough or something. It can feel like your foot's falling asleep. It could be hearing gunshots in the woods because it's hunting season. It could be sticky emotions and thoughts that don't get out of your head. There's so many things that can distract us during meditation. And for all of them, our response is to return to the breath. So no matter what it is, and I feel like it's often we're like, but this is particularly difficult. And it's like, okay, and return to the breath. It's the same thing every time though. We just return to the breath. So we're going to close with a quick little 3-minute meditation. I think it's important to do short sessions when we meditate until we're ready to do longer sessions. Because it's important to be aware of what it is we're practicing. So if like Gyaltsen Rinpoche has taught about how at the end of our visualization practices, when you rest in emptiness, like don't fool yourself into thinking like, oh, you're going to sit still for a couple minutes there, but like, are you resting in emptiness, or are you just like lost in thought and thinking about your grocery list? Like, that's not what we're practicing. Don't spend your time repeating a habit of thinking about your grocery list and whatever, as like just keep it quick, and you can rest your mind and then let go and rest again and let go. You can keep it really short so that what you're practicing is actually what you're trying to practice. And so when we're meditating, you can do that too. It's, just meditate for 30 seconds. And then it's like a really, fresh meditation session for 30 seconds. And then you stop and we walk around and you sit down for another 30 seconds, and it keeps it fresh so that what we're practicing is what we're trying to practice. And it's easy to fool ourselves into thinking, oh, I meditate all the time, and really you just spend a lot of time just lost in thought, and like not even, you could just spend the whole time being distracted and not calling yourself on your distraction, not pulling yourself back to the breath. And maybe on the outside people will go, oh, wow, they're really dedicated. They spend like an hour in meditation every day, and you're just la 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 la. So like it's important to be real with ourselves about what we're actually practicing and what our capacity is for how long we're able to practice it, because it's like working a muscle. So like you're going you're gonna go lift weights. You don't want to fool yourself and think you can do lift weights beyond what you can, or strain yourself by doing some crazy long workout. If you're just starting, you take a 10-minute walk or something, or lift a 5-pound weight. And yeah, it's important to be real with ourselves about what we're doing. Are we actually practicing? And what are we practicing? So we'll do a quick little 3-minute meditation for a nice, hopefully end on a little fresh burst of meditation, fresh burst of focus to end on. So go back to our meditation posture, straight back, relaxed body. Eyes are looking downwards. The tongue is just behind the front teeth. Our attention is on our breath, a very light attention, just like taking a pulse. Not putting any pressure on it, just observing it. Your attention is like a feather, gently riding on the surface of your breath. All right, so we'll end with our dedication prayers now. Throughout my many lives and until this moment, whatever virtue I have accomplished, including the merit generated by this practice, and all that I will ever attain, this I offer for the welfare of sentient beings. May sickness, war, famine, and suffering be decreased for every being, while their wisdom and compassion increase in this and every future life. May I clearly perceive all experiences to be as insubstantial as the dream fabric of the night, and instantly awaken to perceive the pure wisdom display in the arising of every phenomenon. May I quickly attain enlightenment in order to work ceaselessly for the liberation of all sentient beings. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas altogether, whatever kind of motivation you have, whatever kind of beneficial action, whatever kind of wishing prayers, whatever kind of omniscience, whatever kind of life accomplishment, whatever kind of benevolent power, and whatever kind of immense wisdom you have, similarly, I, who have come in the same way to benefit beings, pray to attain these qualities. By this effort, may all sentient beings be free of suffering. May their minds be filled with the nectar of virtue. In this way, may all causes resulting in suffering be extinguished, and only the light of compassion shine throughout all realms. All right, yeah, thank you. For those who are watching online, also we have, no, you already know about this, but we have a New Year's event coming up. It's going to be a great way to start the year. If you're interested in joining us for that, all the info is on our Facebook page or on our social media. We'll be offering prayers and setting intentions to start the new year. And then also we have a POA retreat coming up in January 11th to 17th. It's a really wonderful opportunity to learn the Longchen Nyingtig POA practice with Khenpo Tenzin Norgay and Khenpo Karze. So that, so stay tuned for details about that. You can check our social media for more about that as well. So thanks everyone for being here.